When you think about romance anime, the first thing that comes to mind is a calmer, slice-of-life atmosphere with cheesy characters and a heartwarming love story that will leave you with butterflies in your stomach. However, sometimes in anime, the main character, even in a romance storyline, is a complete badass. In this list, we'll take a look at the top 10 romance anime with a badass main character. Number 10. Macross Delta. Macross Delta takes us to AD 2067, where a mysterious virus called the 𝐜𝐴 syndrome begins to infect humans and the Zentradi species alike, causing them to go berserk and damage property and cause a huge number of fatalities. An interstellar organization called Chaos forms a tactical unit called 𝐒𝐴 to fight the threat of 𝐜𝐴. The unit uses the power of singing, yes, you heard that right. Their singing contains biofold waves that help calm those who've gone berserk due to the infection. And if that wasn't enough, an elite fighter unit called the Aerial Knights find a way to exploit the 𝐜𝐴 syndrome and declare war on the new United Nations government with the accusation of them using a Dimension Eater on their planet, among other crimes committed on their home system years ago. We go into the life of a man called Hayate who meets a woman called Freya. She tells him that she wishes to audition for the 𝐒𝐴 unit and he accompanies her after his town suffers an outbreak. Eventually, he becomes a Delta flight member after he commandeers an abandoned Valkyrie to protect Freya. He has fold receptors that make him immune to the 𝐜𝐴 syndrome and also allows him to have enhanced combat abilities. While he's a carefree person, most of the time he's also one of the most badass characters when he has to fight, and he often uses techniques with quick thinking and that no one else knows could work. Number 9. Tsubasa Chronicle. An archaeologist called Sayoran is excavating a site where he suddenly discovers a mysterious symbol which his childhood friend Sakura used to have visions of. He sees Sakura stand on the same symbol with wings appearing on her back. Suddenly she's pulled into the walls with a strange force and Sayoran only barely manages to save her. Unfortunately, the wings disintegrate and scatter into different dimensions, and it's revealed that they are the manifestation of both her soul and memories, and without them, she'll cease to exist. Sayoran realizes in order to save Sakura, he must travel through all of the different dimensions and gather the feathers of her wings. What follows is a heartfelt journey that takes Sayoran and other characters he meets through a complex adventure, and we get to see his badass side as he has to face the increasing difficulty as his journey goes forward. It's a shame we never get to see a true adaptation of the darker second half of the story, as that's where the character has some of the best moments in the manga.
じゃあお前はネバネバでもう一度聞くがなぜ俺たちを襲ったネバネバ
答えろネバネバ
目的はなんだネバネバ
粘っても無駄だぞネバネバ
チャイカボフだ名前私の
Number 8. Hitsugi no Chaika. Emperor Arthur Garz ruled his empire with cruelty and put his people through inhumane experiments. His tyranny came to an end when the 8 heroes defeat him in battle and end the long war between his empire and those that tried to stop him. A man called Toru Akura in the present world has trouble settling into a peaceful society because he's unable to find a job that could use his saboteur skills which he used in the war. The reason he finds it hard to move on is that ever since he was a kid, he wanted to leave proof in the world that he existed and wanted to kill a lot of people in the war, hoping it causes him to be remembered. Despite his badass goals, he's got a cheerful and friendly side to himself too. Finally, he finds an opportunity to put his skills to use when he comes across a girl who carries around a coffin with her, hoping to find the remains of her father so she can give him an actual burial. She hires him and his adoptive sister to help her gather the remains, but Toru soon learns the remains this mysterious girl wishes to gather are that of Emperor Garz, and the Council of the 6 Nations that deposed the Emperor now pursue the late Emperor's daughter. Toru finds himself in a complicated situation where he has to choose between helping the girl with a coffin or letting her get captured and upholding the peace the world is enjoying. Number 7. Aquarion Logos. Thousands of years after written communication's been developed, mankind relied on it to communicate between themselves and future generations, until the only form of communication that could be found is on cell phones and computer screens, causing fragile reliability on the digital age. A sorcerer starts infecting communication with a virus, creating monsters called Menace of Japanese with biological kinetic energy. This poses a huge threat to society, and an organization called the Ava forms a group of youthful members who contain the ability of verbalism. The main character, called 𝐜𝐡𝐚𝐧𝐬𝐭, calls himself the savior of mankind, and if he wasn't such a badass who can back his claims, would assume he's a self-centered idiot. As part of the team that stands between modern society's fall and the threat it faces, he pilots the Vector 01, which combined with the others form mechas called Aquarians.
今さらあなたが突き飛ばした時に口の中切ったの。さっきからちょっと乱暴なんじゃ。
Number 6. Devil's Line. In Devil's Line, vampires exist among the human society and don't need blood to live. However, they can become uncontrollable, bloodthirsty monsters if they experience extreme emotions, as doing so increases their bloodlust. 𝐜𝐡𝐚𝐧𝐬𝐭 is a half-human, half-vampire hybrid who works as a police officer under the F Squad, which exists to stop criminals with vampire abilities. He utilizes his vampire half to be a better police officer and yearns for the blood of humans just like anyone else, but he has a rule of never giving in to his temptation. He's a complete badass at work and is one of the best cops the city's seen, but he hates his vampire self, even if it's in part responsible for his superior skills. A 22-year-old girl called Tsukasa learns about the existence of vampires when a friend is revealed to be one through a confrontation with Yuki, and she ends up falling in love with him. Although Yuki is reluctant to return her feelings, he finds it hard to resist her and struggles with the side of himself that would have him devour Tsukasa. The complexity of this character truly makes him one of the most compelling protagonists to follow.
大行動の惨劇を奇跡に変えよう。
Number 5. Grand Crest Senki. Atlanten is a land ruled by chaos, which are forces that cause demons and all kinds of monsters to travel into the human world. The people of this land were protected by lords who had the power of crests, using them to hold back the chaos as much as they could. Unfortunately, the lords, blinded by power, stopped caring about protecting the weak and turned against one another in a secret war, hoping to steal all of the crests and having the most power out of every living being. A mage called Seluka, who despises the lords, goes on a journey to become a stronger user of magic. However, she's attacked by soldiers who work for the Federation and is saved by a badass lone knight called 𝐜𝐴𝐚𝐽𝐼. Wielding a mysterious crest that helps him banish the chaos, he hopes to one day become a lord himself and use his status to liberate his hometown, which is called Sistina, from its dictator and the chaos that ruin it. Drawn to him by his goals and his skills in battle, Seluka forms a contract with Theo, and the two work together on a journey to rid the world of its cruel fate. Number 4. Walk Your Romance. In an old town called Helen's Hill, an academy called Winford Academy trains its students in the art of becoming a knight, teaching them how to ride horses and the sport of jousting. The main character, Takahiro, was successfully training to become a knight, but due to an injury, he had to drop out of the knight program and had to join the Begleiter program instead. Since he was a badass when it came to handling animals and his skills in general, he's insanely popular in school and a lot of attractive women ask him to become their personal Begleiter. However, he refuses them all until his friend Mio Kisaki is challenged to a jousting battle despite not being a knight, and he agrees to become her trainer as long as it takes to resolve this duel. However, she enrolls in the annual tournament itself afterward, and he's forced to partner with her for longer, beginning their shared story. Number 3. Star Driver. Kagayaki no Takuto. Taking place on the fictional Southern Cross Isle, the story takes us in the life of a boy named Takuto who swims his way to the shore of the island. He enrolls in a high school and makes new friends immediately, getting along well because of his friendly nature and good looks. However, unknown to him, beneath the school resides a group of giants called Cybodies, which can be controlled by humans like mechas, although only in an alternate dimension known as Zero Time. Soon, he finds himself trapped in a conflict with the Glittering Crux Brigade, which tries to take over the island and take control of the Psi bodies, while also destroying the barriers that prevent Psi bodies from functioning outside their alternate reality. Once they start harming the people that he cares about, he becomes a serious threat to the Brigade and fights them with all of his might, becoming a galactic hero to make sure the balance of the world and the people he cares about remain safe. Not only that, he generally believes that anyone who's weak deserves help, even if they're strangers to him. Number 2. 𝐒𝐻𝐻𝐽𝐻. 𝐒𝐻𝐻𝐽𝐻 is set in 12th century Japan and mainly focuses on the character of Guro. The story begins after Guro almost loses his life and is forced to flee into the mountains with his protector after being attacked by the Red Imperial Army. They find a house that belongs to a beautiful woman and she allows them to stay on the condition that they don't ever go to the back door of the house. As his protector leaves to find medicine for Guro, he and the woman begin to get close, but the woman tells him they can't be together. At night, Guro wakes up and makes his way to the woman's room, only to find a dead body hung upside down and the woman drinking his blood. Where any normal romance protagonist would scream and run off after learning that his new love is a vampire, Guro saves her life and starts attacking the soldiers invading the house. Unfortunately, he's betrayed by his protector and he has to drink her blood to survive, becoming immortal himself. He wakes up centuries later in a different Japan and must fit into this new world and find his lost vampire love. Number 1. Hidan no Aria. Aria the Scarlet Ammo. 𝐒𝐮𝐩𝐸 Toyama is a high school student at Butte High, which is a special school for detectives called Butte who are trained as mercenaries. The school is made in an attempt to battle worsening conditions of the world because of crime, and the students of this school are trained in combat, weaponry, and the ability to successfully capture criminals. One fine day, 𝐒𝐮𝐩𝐸 misses his school bus and starts riding his bike to school, only to learn that a bomb's attached to his bike that blows up if he stops, and he'll be shot dead by segways armed with guns if he tries to jump off. Suddenly, he's saved by a girl called Aria, and they work together to get out of the situation. Through the whole situation, an awkward moment with Aria causes 𝐒𝐮𝐩𝐸's blood pressure to rise, and we learn that 𝐒𝐮𝐩𝐸 has hysteria savant syndrome, which allows him to have 30 times more neurotransmitters than the average person. When activated, 𝐒𝐮𝐩𝐸 becomes an absolute badass and can take down entire groups on his own without breaking a sweat. With this power and the partnership of Aria, he sets out to battle all threats to himself and those he cares about. Alright folks, that's the end of this list of the badass main characters from romance anime. If you enjoyed the hard work we put into this video, then don't forget to smash that like button and go ahead and subscribe. Hit that bell icon to get regular updates and notifications from us. Have a good day, see you in the next video.